How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I was over on Lisa Cabrera's channel, and she did a video about Botham Jean and his murder, and it's an interview with Botham Jean's lawyer. And I had a lot to say, so I didn't leave no comments. So I said, I have so much to say. And you see the title that I have. It's always about race here in America. And I always keep it core on this channel. And I don't fucking hem and haw. I'm really angry that his lawyers, want to hesitate. We so beyond. We should be so beyond that. It's obvious what's going down. It's always about race in America. When a black cop shoot any white person, they have swift justice. Swift. And we just seen a cop a few days ago. They said he was guilty of murdering a white woman. And they're going to lock his ass up. And we all know it was about race. A couple of years ago, some cops shot at a white guy who was a known criminal. And his child got killed in the car. Little white kid. And these were two cops of color. Swift justice. See, I learned from my husband. I learned from many different people. I learned from you, my royal family. That's why I take the time to read your comments. And something my husband said, when it comes to white people breaking the law, it's the spirit of the law. But when it comes to black folks, it's the letter. We get locked up over some of the dumbest shit. It's always about race in America.
I always hesitate to make things racial, but I think what happened was she saw an African American male and she responded fast. She shot him.
That is the voice of Darrell Washington. He is the Botham Jean family attorney, and I'm very pleased that he's been able to join me. Counselor, thank you. It's never my intent to try and jeopardize a defense or a prosecution, but rather cut through the innuendo and the he said, she said. I didn't really understand that comment. What did you mean by that, sir?
Which one? If you can, were you meaning where the comment where she thought she made the decision to shoot because he was African American?
Yes.
Yeah, and if you heard the statement that I made prior to that, one of the things that I never want to do is make cases about race, because you say something that was very important. This is about justice. It's not black versus white, just right versus wrong. But one of the issues, and we just have to just sometimes face reality, if you look at the cases that have happened throughout the United States, we have had incidents where deadly force have been used on unarmed African Americans in situations where someone of another race has been placed in that same situation and did not face the use of deadly force. So obviously, if she thought it was her apartment, she would have not been expecting someone of another race to be there. So,
or anyone for that matter, right?
Anyone for that matter. But the biggest thing is, and I think one issue that we have to focus on is if Botham would have opened fire on Amber Geiger and killed her, he would have been totally in the right for doing that, for someone just walking into his apartment. But he had the restraint not to do anything like that. So this is what you expect from a police officer. One of the callers said earlier that police officers are trained in situations like this, and most reasonable police officers in a situation like this, if they walk in and see someone, they're going to back out immediately and call for backup. They'll tell someone, don't move. And what we did not hear in that 5-minute recording that is so key, we didn't hear not one time that she said that he was reaching for a gun or she thought she was in any type of imminent danger. That was not said. What we did hear is that she said, I'm going to lose my job, or I did not mean to shoot you. So we didn't hear anything where she did not have a choice but to shoot him, and I think that's very key.
Well, let's try to try to clarify a lot of the rhetoric, which you would probably agree, both good and bad, depending on your position on this case. Do you believe, as the Botham Jean family attorney, Daryl Washington, do you believe that race had anything to do with this case?
I think, and it's very hard because, again, we are not all there. But I think there is some underlying fear. When there's an African-American, if you faced with an African-American in a certain situation, that there is some type of underlying fear. As difficult as it is for us to want to admit it, it's something that we just need to have conversations about, that it does exist. And do I think it has something to do with her decision to fire that gun that fast? I think it did. But again.
Okay, so you are saying, Councilor Washington, you believe race played a part in this?
Again, I think the fact that she saw a African-American male placed her in some type of fear, in my opinion. But again, I don't want it to be about race.
No, it shouldn't be. You're right.
It shouldn't be about race at all. It's about the situation, because whether Botham was white, whether he was Asian, I would look at the situation the same. We had someone who was lawfully in their apartment and was killed. So I think that's what the focus should be. And you, like myself, I have seen a lot of individuals kill people and are so remorseful after they took somebody's life, like they didn't mean to do it. So to hear someone saying that they did not mean to do it, and somebody sad, yes, there are going to be a number of people that are going to have sympathy, but the question you got to always ask, what if it was my kid?
No. I understand. I come from a law enforcement family, so I see both sides. Let me ask you this. You've heard the tape, obviously, probably several times. How do you feel about the 911 tape being released?
I don't think it should have been released, quite frankly. If you're going to release, if that type of information is going to be released, it should have been released when the incident first happened. And those type of games, those type of things that happen, I just don't like it. It should not occur. But here's what, and I don't know if you pick up on this, here's what releasing this 911 recording did. It exposed problems with the city of Dallas and the 911 system. One of the things we did not hear, and the attorneys talked about this, one of the things we did not hear in that 5-minute conversation is genuine concern about Botham. For example, is he bleeding? Is he still alive? How bad is the injury? What type of aid does he need? Are you giving him any type of assistance? Are you trying to stop the bleeding? We didn't hear that type of dialogue and that type of exchange. And to hear two professionals on the phone in that moment, in that emergency, we did not need to hear on multiple occasions, I'm going to lose my job, or I was in the wrong apartment. At that particular time, we are expecting that the concern be on both of them, and how can we save his life? And you said you came from, law enforcement, a lot of people with law enforcement background. A lot of the people, you are trained that you are going to be in emergency situations where you have to use deadly force, but you also have to be able to compose yourself after you use deadly force and look at the situation and make sure that you're giving proper aid to somebody who just been shot. And we just didn't hear that in the recording at all.
Okay, I'm running a little late. I got one final question, if you would, sir. Daryl Washington, the Botham Jean family attorney, is with me. Are you committed, like just about everybody I've talked to try and proceed with this trial to get justice for just not the families, but the entire city, which I think is very important. Trying to play down the racial aspect, and you've heard the reports just like I have. Are you committed to putting down that racial component of this case?
I have never, just to go on the record, I have never made this case about race. Never. That one question was asked, and I gave my genuine opinion about it. But when I look at these cases, I look at the facts. What happened and how bad was a law violated? Okay, and bad things happen to people of all races. We just looked at a case in Minnesota where an African-American cop was convicted of murdering a white lady. So this is not something that's just black, white, or the victim's black. This is something where police officers have done something that's not proper. So we just need to have conversations in the city of Dallas. We need to figure out how do we fix this problem. We don't need to have problems like this cause the community to turn on each other. We all have to work together. We all have to live together. And the only way this problem is going, if we're going to have some type of resolution, and we all learn how to just talk about it and try to create solutions.
Daryl Washington, the Botham Jean family attorney, kind enough to come on for a couple of minutes. We need to take you to the WBAP newsroom. Eric Bushman.
All right, my royal family. So we heard Botham Jean's lawyer. He's afraid to keep it core. This murder, I'm going to continue to say, was premeditated. Also, let's not lose sight that Amber Geiger made numerous complaints about Botham Jean. Let's not lose sight that her job was only 2 minutes away from her house, and they want to talk about she worked a 13-hour shift and she was just so weary and fucked up she didn't know where she was. Another thing, black folks don't leave their doors ajar. Who knocks on a open door? Let's not lose sight that she has a dog and they worship their dog more than anything, so they're not going to be shooting at their dog. And there's many things that Amber Geiger did unprofessional. And the number one is she's a cop and she's been in the force 5 years. So she knows protocol. She knows what to do when someone gets shot. And she's acting like a everyday citizen. I hold her to a higher standard. I've been saying that for the longest. And I'm going to keep saying what I'm saying. Hell has no fury like a woman scorned. She felt scorned. She felt disrespected. Oh, let's throw in the other component. She's short, so she got a Napoleon complex. Don't think short women don't get to have those. Some. There's a lot of factors in it. A lot of factors. Let's not lose sight that me and Lisa Cabrera interviewed the number one witness. And basically, Amber Geiger took joy in watching a black man die. And the reason why they put that 911 tape out is because they're worried about the case. Something in this case is bothering them. When they added a third lawyer, I said there's a big ass problem. Let's not lose sight that Lisa Cabrera over a week ago did a video showing that 9 of Amber Geiger's cases were dropped, were totally dropped. And I know there's going to be more. And we will find out in detail when they do have this trial latter summer what was going on. Let's not lose sight. They have not put out her toxicology report or Botham Jean's. And how I look at it is, if she was full of something, if she was not full of something, drugs, they would have put it out immediately. And if he was, they would have put it out immediately. It's always about race. Keep it core. And stop fucking around. So I'll leave it right there, my royal family. Render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.